Potent Pondering, please come in, thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel. So listen, Donald Trump sat down with NBC News and he did an interview, and he's teasing and talking about his plans for mass deportation coming as soon as he takes office on January 20th. So listen, I want to get into it. So he talked about the birthright citizenship. He also talked about illegal migrant Ken family, and he pretty much said that he mentioned that the families don't have to separate, but they'll have to leave together. So listen, I had this clip that I found off of the Neighborhood Talk. I want to read the article too, but I just want to play this clip first. So let's just check this out.
You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
We're the only country that has it. If somebody sets a foot, just a foot, 1 foot, you don't need to, on our land, congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Through executive action?
Well, if we can, through executive action. I was going to do it through executive action, but then we had to fix COVID first, to be honest with you. We have to end it. I'm going to look at everything. We're going to look at individual cases, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to be acting very quickly.
Within your first 100 days, first day?
First day.
First day.
Yeah, I'm looking first day.
Issue these pardons.
These people have been there. How long is it? 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
By the way, they've been in there for years, and they're in a filthy, disgusting place that shouldn't even be allowed to be open.
4 million families in America who have mixed immigration status. So I'm talking about parents who might be here illegally, but the kids are here legally. Your borders are
You're talking about separation.
Yeah, well, there are two aspects to this. Your borders are, Tom Homan said, they can be deported together.
Correct.
Is that the plan?
Well, that way you keep I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together, and you have to send them all back.
Even kids who are here legally?
Well, what you're going to do if they want to stay with the father? Look, we have to have rules and regulations. You can always find something out like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I'll tell you what's going to be horrible. When we take a wonderful young woman who's with a criminal, and they show the woman, and she could stay by the law, but they show the woman being taken out, or they want her out, and your cameras are focused on her as she's crying, as she's being taken out of our country, and then the public turns against her.
So listen, I just want to say this, right? It seemed like Donald Trump is not playing when it comes to this whole migrant immigration mass deportation situation. I will say this. He also has mentioned that he has a plan for the dreamers. Now, dreamers are people who've come into the country from young ages. Their parents brought them into this country. So he has a plan for them too, but it really wasn't quite clear. And that's why I put Nicki Minaj's name in the title, because, I talk about different topics on this channel, and I know that she came to this country when she was a little girl, 4 years old. She just turned 42 today, so happy birthday to her. But I wonder how this is going to impact someone like her who's been in the country since she was a little girl, but she said that she's not a citizen. So, to me, I kind of question, a person has the right to do what they want to do, but it's just like, why aren't you a citizen at this point? Because you could apply, because I know, listen, I have friends, somebody I actually dated came here from Trinidad, and they applied and they got their citizenship. So it's like, you just got to make sure that you do the right things, but I don't know how that's going to impact someone like her if he really hankers down on some sort of policy against even the dreamers, because she would be considered a dreamer. So let me just run through this article. I want to read some takeaways that they didn't mention there. So Trump teases plans during NBC interview to deport Americans along with illegal migrant Ken. They don't have to separate, and as you heard in the what we just played, he said that they can leave with them. So it's like, and like he said, and he stressed his emphasis in that interview, we need order. You can't touch down on, everybody can't just end up in America. This is not some dumping zone. But listen, we're gonna talk. So listen, let's go through this. So President Donald Trump suggested Sunday that he would deport some Americans along with illegal migrant Ken to help families stay together during his mass deportation plan. So listen, he's trying to say like, we don't gotta play around. You don't gotta separate, but you gotta leave together. I want to know how you feel about that in the comments, right? So he said, I don't want to be breaking up families, Trump told NBC News Meet the Press in a pre-taped interview. So the only way you don't break the family up is if you keep them together and they have to send them all back. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of people voted Trump in based off of his views on immigration and mass deportation to get this country back in order. I know that a lot of people come over here, and they don't commit crimes and things like that, but we still need order. You can't just be dumped over here. Like, it's not our fault, our responsibility. Now, I do understand that illegal immigrants, period, how they contribute to the workforce in the United States. They say that people are constantly aging out of Social Security, so it adds more working bodies into paying into Social Security. I understand that. I completely get it, right? But you still got to be legal. And, Eric Adams was up in New York City talking about how the illegal aliens were working during COVID, doing those DoorDash and Uber Eats type jobs. But that wasn't even legal. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like states like New York has definitely contributed to the downfall of this country. So let's continue. Chicago, too. So he mentioned about, not wanting to break them up and wanting to send them back together. So pressed further about children who are here illegally or even legally. Trump said that he is inclined to boot them as well as their parents, keeping the family intact. And, and that's that whole birthright thing. A lot of people, and that's a loophole. A lot of people fly over here when they know they're about to give birth so that their children can be, citizens of the United States, and it kind of binds them to being here. They got to stop that. They got to stop it. And how are they going to get a hold on that? They're going to stop airplanes. I mean, people going through the airports and stuff like that and stop. But I do think that, listen, you can't, it's too many loopholes. It's too many, and we need to hunker down on all of that. So he said, all right, okay, in regards to separating the families, he said families will have a say in the least in some sort of the decision making. All right. So he said if they come here illegally, but their family is here legally, then their family has a choice. The person who came here illegally can go out, or they all can go together. Trump incoming border czar Tom Homan has backed deporting the children of illegal migrants, even if the minors were born in the United States. So you see that whole birthright thing is coming into question. You see, that might look crazy. And this is why, I'm not doing it for no clicks and views or anything like that. But I did mention Nicki because I know Nicki, she's not a citizen of the United States, but her son was born here. You understand what I'm saying? So how is that going to look if he was to go back to a person even that's been in the United States since the 80s? She came here when she was 4 years old. So yeah, since the 80s. That's crazy. But listen, all right? So Trump emphasized that you have no choice but to round up everyone who has been in the United States illegally to deport them. And he explained that his starting point would be the criminals. So hopefully it's not going to be everyone immediately, but he said his starting point is the criminals. Imagine that, man. Just dumped over here in this country, and you coming over here wreaking havoc. We already got our own treasonous people over in this country. Then they coming over here trying to, come on. It's too much. It's too much. So Trump said, I think you have to do it. He said, you have rules and regulations. We need order. Get out of my country. All right. They came here illegally. The people that have been treated very unfairly are the ones who have been in the line for the 10 years to come into this country legally. Waiting years, and there's people just hopping the borders and doing, come on, you can't tell me that's wrong in itself. And I want you to understand from my verbiage, and I don't want you to think that I'm xenophobic or anything like that. You need to come the right way. We can't go nowhere else and do that. I don't know how many times I got to stress that in this video. So he said we have to get the criminals out of our country. Trump continued, but we're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it, and then we're starting with the others, and we're going to see how far it goes. All right. I think that this is good. You listen, the one way that the people who elected him into office, the one thing that he wants to do is to keep his word. His last administration, I know that he ran that thing where he wanted to build the wall to do what he promised, So the president-elect argued that voters backed him in a large because of the economic issues in the border, while simultaneously acknowledging some of the political repercussions of pursuing his mass deportation plans. And I was just reading an article where they were saying that, in regards to the tariffs, if he he chooses to put tariffs 25% on Mexico, how that could, cripple the state of Texas. That's where I'm at right now. So I'll do some more conversation on that too. So I'll let you know what's going to be hard when a young beautiful woman, and he just spoke about that in that interview, so I'm not going to talk about that, saying that a beautiful woman who's associated with some sort of illegal alien criminal or whatever. So I'm going to jump right over that. But he said, but we have to do our job, and you have to have a series of standards and a series of laws. Yeah, we need that. We need order. We need order. All right. So during his first administration, Trump faced fierce backlash over the hardline immigration policies he implemented, such as the family separation policy, which his administration pursued early on. All right. In some instances, his administration prosecuted adults or held them in deportation facilities while keeping their children by the Department of Health and Human Services supervision. So during the backlash, his administration backed off of the policy and worked towards reunifying the families. I'm sorry, I don't know what that word had me caught up. All right. So Trump also suggested that he was keen on protecting the so-called dreamers. And this is where part came in when I said about Nicki Minaj. She would be considered a dreamer. A dreamer is someone who came here very young. Their family brought them here. Their parents brought them here for a better life. All right. So Trump suggested that he was keen on protecting the so-called dreamers. But to me, this didn't really have he said this pretty much got to be worked on. But individuals who were brought to the United States illegally by their parents at a young age and have since grown up here. All right. He said that the dreamers are to come later, and we have to do something about the dreamers. Because these people have been brought here at a very young age, and many of these people are middle-aged now, Trump said. All right. He said, I will work with the dreamers on a plan and see if we can come up with a plan. But the Democrats have made it very, very difficult to do anything. Republicans are very open to dreamers. OK, the people who grew up here, hopefully the people who grew up here and they didn't commit any crimes. If you see somebody like Nicki, she's made an amazing, I think that she's created an amazing trek for herself as an immigrant who came here and turned her life completely around, So hopefully that works out in the dreamers' favor. Hopefully, the ones who haven't caused and wreaked any havoc on the United States. All right. So moderator Kristen Walker asks if Trump means that he hopes dreamers can stay within the United States, and pay attention to this. He said, I do. I want to work out something. So he's willing to work out something. I think that, listen, this country needs order. We have to have strict rules and regulations that are applied to immigrants. It has to be, illegal aliens. I'll say that. Not, people, I feel like if you want to move somewhere, do it the right way. Again, I can't stress enough. We can't go nowhere. We can't step out of this country and think that we're just supposed to set up shop somewhere else and just on their country. It don't work like that. All right. So then he also talked about ending birthright citizenship. I think that this, like I said earlier in my wordplay, this needs to be hankered down on too. So Trump also reiterated that his well-worn desire to end birthright citizenship, which stems from the 14th Amendment and the Constitution, ensures individuals born in the United States immediately become citizens. And he also talked about that in that clip that I played. Scores of illegal migrants have engaged in a well-known process of sneaking into the United States to have children on American soil so that their offspring can be citizens. And in turn, that means that they get to say. He said, we have to end it. We're the only country that has it, Trump explained, in his measure. And then they did some fact checking and said more than 30 countries have some variation of birthright citizenship. So I guess there's different countries who have that. The incoming president dangled the possibility of attempting to scrap the birthright citizenship through executive action. So Trump teased that his team has a flurry of executive actions also ready to go on with issues such as with the border and the economy. So listen, I really want to know what y'all feel about that. It seems like he's letting y'all know right now what's in the pipeline. It's December. It's like the whole transition team. Everybody's getting ready. They're getting ready to, to get beefed up and do what they got to do for this country. Again, I want to stress this in this video because I know that people think that, you know, feeling pro illegal immigrant, it sounds like you could translate it to feel like, oh, you're xenophobic, you're this. No, it's not that. But people we need a system of checks and balances. And even though I told y'all before that I voted Democratic, even though I felt like I shouldn't have, I felt like I was, listen, I can't stress it enough. I felt forced. I felt like, damn, like, you know, speaking about the election with my mom. And then also, I'm going to be completely truthful and transparent with you. I'm in Texas, and I knew that my vote did count, but I knew that it was going to turn red anyway. In this state, it's you know, historically red, right? But I personally didn't trust Kamala Harris with this country. I personally just did not. And I know that people will contest it in the comments. I know that you will. I didn't trust her with the country. I did not. I just don't feel like she's suitable. I feel like she let all of these immigrants run amok in this country. We need order. They running through this country roughshod, committing all types of crimes, swatting in people's homes. They ain't even pay people swatting. It's been a lot. It's been a lot, and we need order more so. We need order. So listen, potent pondering, never pandering. I want you to get in the comments. Let me know what you think about Trump teasing all of these, you know, promises in regards to immigration, migration, and birthright citizens, the whole thing with the dreamers and all of that. Let me know what you think, like, you know. And I want to ask a question here too, being that I put somebody like Nicki's name. Now I know Rihanna is over here on this soil too. Rihanna is a citizen of the Bahamas. Why are these people, now we look at somebody like a Nicki and we look at somebody like a Rihanna, why don't they have their citizenship? It's like you don't lose your loyalty to your country by doing it. I just want to know, why don't they have their citizenship? So listen, get in the comments, let me know what you think about that. And yeah, I'm up out of here. Peace.